Welcome to the Emirate of Qatar, a small island oasis situated off the Arabian Peninsula, a world of its own in the Middle East. With a population of 2 million, of which foreign workers make up nearly 4/5, Qatar has an annual GDP of $183.38 billion US. Qatar is currently the world's largest crude oil exporter and has the third greatest reserve of natural gas. Qatar is quickly becoming the ideal place for investors and businesses. Welcome to an investor's paradise. The internal politics of Qatar have directly influenced their economic prosperity and social progress. Qatar has had many rulers, from Bedouin rule to Bahraini annexation, Ottoman Reformation, to a British protectorate, and now finally back to Qatari rule from 1971 onward. From its independence, Qatar has changed drastically and rapidly. Qatar is an absolute monarchy with democratic frills. The executive branch consists of the emir, the Arabian equivalent of a king, and a prime minister. They also have various ministries which handle many sectors, which range from financial and business sectors to family affair departments. The Consultative Assembly's main purpose is to approve the national budget and pass legislation. Due to the structure and hereditary nature of succession in the government, Qatar is still considered an absolute monarchy. Qatar is a capitalist market with little government involvement aside from oversight by committees responsible for their specific divisions. There is a subsection of the economic and banking sector that adhere to traditional Islamic values and Sharia law, but foreigners need not opt in. However, it is highly recommended that any foreigner have a sponsor, mentor, or lawyer when investing or starting a business in Qatar. To be on the safe side, foreign investors should consult with the Central Tenders Committee for questions about their business or investment. The CTC is a subsidiary of the Qatari government and advises and interprets business law. The Ministry of Environment has passed a substantial number of laws from 1974 onward to not only reduce but limit their CO2 emissions. Since Qatar has the world's third largest reserves of natural gas, they emphasize environmental protection and responsible consumption. There is no income tax in Qatar, making the conditions for the wealthy similar to those of Monaco, but there is, however, a steep corporate tax. The flat rate starts at about 10%, and as the corporation grows and diversifies, the taxes it is subject to will also change. The government of Qatar believes in a cradle-to-grave approach when it comes to social services and social safety nets. The government's annual budget is usually upwards of 50 billion Qatari rial, which is roughly 16 billion Canadian dollars. They are able to provide for all the citizens of Qatar, approximately 2 million people, through their tax revenue and profits from natural gas extraction and sale. Qatar is a capitalist market, however, companies in Qatar must adhere to high standards and strict laws regarding their operations. Companies starting in or expanding to Qatar must meet standards, but otherwise it is highly capitalist. The government's primary area of concern is the energy sector, which they have great influence over, but many still regard Qatar as a business-friendly environment. There is very little risk in terms of the government changing policies, laws, or throwing a curveball at businesses or investors. Qatar has been and is a supporter of many revolutions which took place during the Arab Spring. They openly provided arms and ammunition to rebels and continue to pledge their support in ongoing conflicts. Although the Arab League regards Qatar to have no loyalty, they have to maintain a good relation with the country because of its economic prosperity and relations with the West. The government of Qatar maintains good relations with their trading partners and neighbors to ensure their government's investments and businesses do not suffer as a result of politics and bureaucracy. The government of Qatar is one of the most stable in the world and considered to be the stablest in the Middle East. The economy of Qatar, thanks to the government, is well sheltered from turmoil in its surrounding Arab nations. has a AA credit rating, meaning they are a safe bet when it comes to investing with the government or within the country. They are also currently operating in a budget and trade surplus. Risk of repudiation on the part of Qatar is very low. The chances of political instability over the next 5 to 10 years in Qatar are very low. The Qatari people are happy and the government has a firm grip on their rule. The relationship between Canada and Qatar is mostly commercial, but they are on good terms due to Qatar's strategic location in the Middle East, as well as being one of the only countries to openly modernize and westernize their society.
Qatar has a capitalistic economy and is mostly a free market. The businesses and investors are free to trade and invest as they please as long as they meet the rules already in place. The largest and arguably the most important sector is the energy production and natural oil extraction and sale. Qatar is part of the OPEC. Qatar's top trading partners are Japan, South Korea, India, the UK, Singapore, Germany, and the United States. Qatar has the world's highest GDP per capita, which is currently around 100,000 US dollars. This is due to the small population and oil cost is literally less than bottled water. The citizens of Qatar are heavily invested in the oil industry, but also have responsibly diversified their investments. On top of that, Qatar is on its way to becoming a welfare state, but don't let that fool you into thinking that they're not wealthy and prosperous. The government is able to provide free education from preschool to university as well as universal health care. The high GDP per capita also directly increases the purchasing power parity, meaning that businesses will be well received in Qatar if they meet the needs of consumers. Qatar's current unemployment rate is at 3.19%. This means that almost everyone in the labor force that is employed is able to fully participate in economic activities. This indicator means that the economy of Qatar is strong, and a strong economy means that investments and businesses in Qatar are relatively safe, if not thriving. The inflation rate of the Qatari rial is 2.6%. Low inflation rates lead to lower interest rates, which lower the cost borrowing, allowing businesses to thrive. It also makes it easier for businesses to make long-range projections regarding their purchasing power. This collectively allows money for businesses to be worth more and last longer. These factors contribute to a sustainable and reliable business as well as a good investment. Qatar was ranked as the world's fastest growing economy in 2010. They had a real economic growth rate of 19.4%. The economy is expanding and primed to become an economic superpower. The income in Qatar has been rising steadily since 1991, and the trend looks to continue upward from the foreseeable future. The nature of Qatar's main export allows the economy to be well insulated against economic downturn. Qatar is currently approaching the peak of the business cycle. This may be a good time to invest in Qatar considering the last recession had a little effect on the economy. Money invested will be safe as well as growing because of the high interest rates that Qatar is currently experiencing. Currently, because Qatar is taking initiative to improve their infrastructure and invest in sustainable resources, they are looking for creative and innovative ideas. Investing in alternative methods of transportation for Qatar will benefit not only the investor, but the whole economy. Faster and cheaper transportation will relieve the stressed distribution channels in Qatar, which reduces the risk of supply chain distribution. The Qatari rial is pegged to the United States currency. The United States dollar is equal to 3.64 reals. It is fixed to another currency because of the devaluation of the previous currency, the Gulf rupee. The pegging of the currency was declared in 2001. Currently, $1 Canadian is equal to 3.36 reals. Qatar is ranked 40th as the world's safest place for investors and investment protectionism. The list was compiled by Forbes in late 2013 and took 11 factors into account, including property rights, taxes, technology, freedom, red tape, stock market performance, and most importantly, investor protectionism.
Qatar has a society striving for social progress, a trustworthy and stable government, and a strong, fast-growing economy. Qatar is one of the most liberal and business-friendly countries in the Middle East, creating an atmosphere perfect for foreign investment and business expansion. The government is liberal and reasonable in their laws and regulations while working to eliminate barriers and reduce risks to be more inviting to investors, as well as guaranteeing protections and advisors. The well-insulated economy is currently enjoying high interest rates. Qatar really is, in every sense of the phrase, an investor's paradise.